Hi, this is Gavin MaGrath with Delta Realty, and I'm at 58 Aster Street. I'm going to give you an overview of the property, an objective overview of exactly what kind of condition the property is with the visual aid of video, and hopefully this will help you in coming to a conclusion as to the state of the property. And before, I'm going to walk around the outside of the property so that you can get an idea of that and go over the main points of what needs to be done, having the contractors have a look at this property and a home inspector having looked at the property, and what conclusions they've come to, that basically you're looking at approximately $100,000 to get this house into a livable and decent condition. That's not including putting in upgrades inside the house. That's just to fix structural damage and so on. So as you can see, the driveway is a mess. It's sloping all over the place. It's not functional. I don't know how much of this house is up to code. I don't think very much of it is. As I'm walking around and pointing out a few things, I want to point out the main factors that need to be taken into account. And number one, the wood on the outside of the house is all termite infested. The house is probably, well, not probably, but will have to be tented. As you can see, there's significant damage to all this wood, and anything that's wood on the outside of the house has got damage and soft wood and is breaking away from the house, and the gutter system completely needs to be replaced as well. That's damaged. So hitting the main components, as you look at the house from the outside of the back, the roof, which is about 25 years old plus, does leak. It's a flat roof. For some reason, the roof is lower than the sides of the roof. It slopes down, and according to the neighbors who can see the roof from their second story, which their house is right there, they are amazed at the amount of water. There's sometimes 3 to 4 inches of water that stands on the roof. There's some huge soft spots on that roof, and it, without a question, bottom line is that the entire roof needs to be replaced. That's the consensus based on the age, based on the leaking, based on the soft spots. And then there's wood underneath the roof, so the unknown factor is exactly what would have to be done with all the wood underneath the roof, because they don't know what kind of condition that is, and don't know what kind of condition underneath the soffits are in, because that is also a problem. So I'm getting back over here on the side of the house. This is where the air handler is. It is under the house, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's right back there in front of you. You can see it right there. For some reason, they placed the air handler in the house, and you may not be able to see this because there's not enough light, but all the plumbing, all the lines for the plumbing are completely corroded and rusted, heavily rusted under the house. Those are going to have to be replaced. There's no question about that. We don't know what this is doing to the water that's coming in the house. And this house was built in 1945. It was moved to this location from another location on the beach, and it was jacked up, and it's held up by blocks. Now, we don't know either the quality of that or how that's working. You can see with the windows here, these windows they taped them. I don't want to pull this off, but they're basically completely broken, as you can see. All the windows in the house, nothing works. All the windows need to be replaced. Nothing is obviously even close to being up to code. And you have a lot of foliage around the house. Roots that are growing right, to the house and up against the house, and with the wood being up on the soffits and so on like that, you can see that's not a good situation. We have the same thing on the side of the house as well. So this tree over here is pressing right up against the house and causing problems. You can see where the roof is actually bending in on the side over there where that tree is pressing, and that's going to have to be cut down by an arborist, as are several other trees back here. That's right up against the foundation of the house as well. As I said, the guttering is going to have to be replaced, and this section of the house is what is sinking. Is this northeast corner right here is actually slopes down. It's hard to see on camera, but it's in the inspection reports, and what that's causing is cracking. So you can see the cracking down here as this settles more and more and sinks more and more. There's a significant slope on the inside of the house, As you can see, all the wood has been rotted away at the crawl space. It's not even, the thing doesn't even sit up anymore. All the gutters are completely damaged. Windows again around the house completely damaged, don't seal properly, allow moisture in. And this part of the house will have to be jacked up. The cost of that is unknown. It's estimated at quite several thousands of dollars, but it's not going to be known until they get in there and find out the extent of how much sloping there is and what has to be done to fix that. So you've got the entire roof needs to be replaced. You have the foundation that needs to be lifted up and settled. You have the underside of the house, which is supported, but we don't know how well that is. The air conditioning system is not working, and as I said, the air handler is under the house, which is, as you can see in the inspection report, is not a good thing. It doesn't allow airflow. It allows bugs to get in. It allows dirty air to get in, and heat and humidity and so on. So that's their air handler just won't last, and that's why the system is frozen up. Heading out to the pool, you can see all the wood. Obviously, this needs to be replaced on the outside as well. This is all old and rotted away. The pool is in fairly decent shape because it was put in 1997, but it was built up on a gradient, and what's happened is it appears to be pushing backwards because all the stone on the side of the pool is angled, and it was not angled. As you can see, this is angled and this is straight over here, but as you get around the pool, as you can see the condition of the property, but as you get around the pool, you can see where the stones are lifting up all the way around, and it's particularly evident right here. And a lot of these are loose even to the touch. This is not going to really hold up to any kind of an inspection or anything, and it's in fact dangerous. It's a danger, so that has to be addressed, and the same all the way around here. All the way, as you can see, this brick is just pushing backwards, and you can see under the hot tub there's cracking, significant cracking under here, so that's going to have to be built in and replaced at a cost of several more thousands of dollars. The pool equipment itself, as that had been replaced and fixed up fairly well. At some point there's a broken motor down there. You can see this is not exactly, this needs to be repaired, and we got some old pool system stuff going on here. Now let me get to the interior of the home right now. Just hang tight for a second. Let me get a feel for the house, I think. You see what kind of disrepair it is in. In fact, the inside of this house smells so badly I don't want to spend too much time in there. There's a tremendous amount of mold in the house, and it's very, very filthy. The fact that it has not sold in 4.5 years is indicative of how much work needs to be done. Anybody that's ever got a contract on this home has not purchased it because of the amount of work that has to be done when they really get into the inspections and so on. So the entire property needs to be redone. Again, some examples of damage. As you can see, the porch needs to be replaced. You have all kinds of damage to the wood that surrounds this. These boards are basically just ready to come off. You've got more things growing into the side of the house there, and the steps. The porch is in poor shape. It's cracking throughout as well. Maybe part of the structure sinking. You've got bricks pulling away. You've got termite damage in the wood here, cracking, going up. We don't know the extent of that inside the wood. Coming inside the home, you can see the damage that is in the ceiling. This is where water is leaked through and poured down, and this is just very soft. There's absolutely nothing up there. We don't know the extent of the damage throughout the rest of this wood roof. There's obviously water that has been coming down into the home, and there's some other wet spots and so on, but once they pull the roof off, we're going to see what the extent of the damage is. This is the air conditioning vent. And you see the vents were, the vent is on the floor right here, and they're filthy. The filter was absolutely disgusting. It's not working at all, and According to the contractor, this whole system needs to be moved. The vents need to be moved from the handler from out of the house, possibly into the roof, which would be an additional expense. And the vents need to be run from a different location. All the vents are going to have to be relocated higher in the house, which is going to be another huge expense. So they're going to have to be taken up, and they're going to have to be run. And this is block inside the house, so that's going to be another huge expense as well. The kitchen is in okay shape, but it's probably going to have to be pulled out. The countertops are very filthy and stained and dirty. Not sure if you can see that on the video. The sink's going to have to be pulled out. You can see there's damage, significant damage. You can see here everything pulling off in the kitchen. This is all just pretty much a big mess. The only thing that's halfway decent here are the cabinets, and they may or may not stay. But the refrigerator, you can see the state of this. You can see how this house has been kept, and inside the refrigerator. Getting onto the flooring, it's pretty obvious to see the flooring. It stinks. It's filthy. It's going to need to be pulled up. It's definitely absolutely not livable with this flooring in it. So the flooring throughout this house where I'm walking right now, throughout this back room, throughout the living room, and that's not taking into account the baseboards either, and the mold that's on the windowsills and damage to the windowsills as well. All this is going to have to be replaced. So it's fairly easy to see. Not much light in here, but it's fairly easy to see the condition, the state of the property. And the floor is sloping in this room right here, and the floor is sloping back here as well. The bathroom is in awful shape. This is probably going to have to be gutted out. You can see, I'm not sure, there was no fire here, but it looks almost like it was burned. But this is probably some kind of a mold that's in there. The shower, and it smells really bad in here. The shower is full of mold, if you can see that. I'll try and get enough natural light so you can see the mold on the floor of the shower and the handle. So this tile is probably going to have to be pulled out as well and definitely remediated. The door has to be replaced. There's not much good about that. The paint, as you can see, several parts of the house, the paint is just peeling off because it's coming away with the humidity. Sitting empty for 4.5 years, it's taken its toll. The doors are messed up. Most of the doors are like this, damaged, broken. Several door handles are broken as well. This is the guest bathroom, and again, you see the state of the tub. It's not in very good repair at all. In fact, this is amazing that anybody could actually live here. This is the faucet and the spout for the bathroom, which is completely off and broken, so that whole system needs to be replaced. Back to the flooring again, and head over to the living room finally, and then we'll be done. You can see more damage up here if this is visible. The light on, you can see where water leak here, a huge water leak here, has been repaired. The area above this right here, the roof is completely soft. You cannot walk on it. You can walk on part of the roof. There's areas where you'd fall through if you were to walk on it. This is the living room. You can see the state of that.